I'm Jara Stewart. Welcome to today's edition of Up Close and Personal. And today we are the privilege of being with a wonderful young lady, I'm going to call her, Lutricia Gray. Lutricia, thank you so much for, I gave you short notice, thank you so much for being willing to come in and interview
Thank
with
you.
me. I can't wait to hear your story. I just know you from First Church. You are my leader, as I'm a greeter at
Yes.
First Church, and you are our leader, and
Yes.
we love you. I love your spirit. You have a kind and a really sweet spirit, and that's what I know about you.
Okay.
But now I'm going to hit all the other stuff. So
All right.
thank you for being here. What's your full name?
My full name is Latricia Cheryl Gray.
Okay.
My maiden name was Thompson, but I
Okay.
still carry
Hmm.
the married name Gray.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure. So where are you originally from?
I was born in Southern Illinois, and I like to describe it as a location where two body of waters come together but does not blend together.
Interesting.
It's called the Point.
Hmm.
It's the Mississippi and the Ohio River.
Really?
If you stand at the point, you can see where the two different colors of water
Really?
come together, and one is a little bit muddier than the other.
The Mississippi
The
Muddy?
Mississippi and the Ohio River runs together. So I was born in Carroll, Illinois.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Are
And
you the only child, or you?
no, I'm the last of the siblings of my mother.
Hmm.
Yeah, and dad.
How
Yeah.
many altogether?
It was five of us.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think it was a good thing I was the last
Mhm.
because I just got all that love. I really
Were
did.
you spoiled?
I don't know if I was spoiled. I just like to say I was just well
Real
loved.
love. That's nice.
I really was by my
That's
sisters
that's
and my
wonderful.
brother,
That's
especially
wonderful.
my one brother Donald. When I think about the love that my brother gave me,
Mm,
he was just so protective
really?
of me.
Hmm.
And I'm feeling overwhelmed
Yeah.
because he had a lot of expectations. I mean, he wanted me to join the service. My brother was in the Air Force,
Hmm.
and I was afraid to join it. And he said, "You're going to be around good people. You get a chance to travel,
Yeah.
the education, all these good
Sure.
things that he shared with me." But I didn't. I
Mm.
didn't, and even about dating and all.
Mm.
And when my date would come to pick me up, I would jump up, and he said, "You better sit right down." He was
This
truly a
is your
big
brother.
brother. This is
Yeah.
my brother talking to me.
Yeah.
He said, "If he want to take you on a date, he better
Come
ring
in.
that
I know
doorbell."
that's right. Yeah. Good for him.
Yes, so he was very
Is
protective.
he still with us, or is
No, and that's why
That's
I'm
why it just
tearful because
yeah.
my brother passed a couple years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, he
I'm sorry.
did, and
Mm.
he was my oldest brother. He had been married to his wife for 68 years,
Wow.
and he grieved for a whole year
Uh,
because his wife actually died on the 68th
Anniversary.
anniversary.
Wow.
And I tried to tell my brother, I said, "You got family members that love you. Don't give up."
Mm.
And
But he did.
but he did.
He did.
He
Mm.
did. But he taught me a lot.
Aw.
He did.
That's
So I'm
precious.
ever so grateful.
That's precious. So how did you end up in Toledo from Illinois?
From Illinois, leaving from Carroll, I lived with my brother in Champaign, Illinois, because as I stated, he was in the Air Force, and I lived with him for a number of years until I got really sick, and my oldest sister lived here in Toledo, and she came to check on me, and she said, "I can't be running back and forth checking on you. I'm just going to move you to Toledo."
Oh.
Well, it was just me.
Wow.
So she packed my little bags up, and I
And
moved to
how old
Toledo.
were you at that time?
Oh gosh, how old was I at that time? I'm trying to think. Um, I can't remember, but I do know it was the year of '73
Okay.
when I moved to Toledo.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
were you're pretty young still. Yeah.
so,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And so what kind of child were you?
What kind of child I was?
Hmm.
I was. I would say I was a bit independent because My older sister and brother, they were like parents to me, okay? Because the fact that my brother was in the military and he would come home, you know, quite often until I moved with him and his family. But I was an adventurous type of kid.
Yeah.
There was this one lady in the neighborhood. In the summertime, she cared for the neighborhood kids who parents was working during the summer. You know, we would go to the levee and take cardboard and slide down the hill. We would grow crawfish
Oh my goodness.
and ate a lot of crawfish.
Really?
You know, I was one of those type of child that my mother would tell me on Saturday, okay, it's time to clean up. And if you don't clean up, do your chores, you can't go to the movie, you know, you got to go to church come Sunday. That wasn't a problem. But I guess the one thing about me, I resented her to tell me what to do about cleaning because I always felt I knew what to do. I knew that our laundry had to be taken care of. I knew dusting had to take care of. I knew that our bedroom had to be cleaned up because my sister in Chicago and I, we shared the bedroom together, you know. So
Interesting.
that was one thing about me. I just
So
felt I knew.
you thought you
I thought I
just
knew.
that you knew enough,
Yeah.
huh? Okay.
Yeah.
At what point in life did you accept Christ? What brought you to this Jesus?
I was 12. I remember going to church, a Baptist church, my oldest sister and brother. My family is part Catholic and part Baptist. When my sister in Chicago and I came along, I asked my mother, I said, why aren't we Catholic? She said, I decided to let you two make that decision. So in the neighborhood which we live, and my friends, they were Methodists and Baptists.
Goodness.
So I went to the Baptist church, which was right up the street, about 2 blocks. And the pastor's wife, Pastor Newman, I remember very well, his wife had a thing called the Red Circle. And on Saturday, the kids would flock to her house because she would teach us about craft and our behavior, our attitudes, and the Word of God. You know, she didn't pound it into us. She just kind of
Worked
weaved
it
it
in.
into
Sure, smart lady.
and our little activities. So I was 12. I can remember very well, and I did sing in a choir. I always wanted to be a singer, but I don't have that singing voice, but I like to think that I can.
Okay.
Because I was told by instructor, I used to sing at the university choir in Champaign, and his audition was, as long as you sing with the Spirit, you can be a part of this group.
All right.
So with that, I got baptized when I was 12 because I felt the Spirit, and I remember coming home and telling my mother how this feeling came over me and all, and she said, what did you do? I said, I cried. I said, but I felt like I wanted to jump up and run through the church.
Yeah.
She said, well, did you do it? I said, no, because I'm only 12, and I said, I did not want the elders of the church to think that I was performing, I was just acting out of character.
Yeah.
So I held it back, and I learned that that was wrong, you know, because I was worried about what somebody else was going to say about me when I should have just released it.
Sure.
You know? Yeah.
So at 12, you made the decision.
Yes.
Did you? Because a lot of us make a decision several times in life, and then
And I
there's a
did.
time when we finally get really serious about
Yes.
it. Did you have a time when you really, for yourself, you realized this is what I want? I want
I did.
Jesus. What do you remember? What age you were and
Um,
what brought that on?
I remember First Church was on Bancroft, and I remember working with Jerome Lee. We worked for the same
Yes.
corporation, and he was telling me about the church, and I said, well, I'm already a member of a church, but he said, oh, you just got to come and visit here. So I did, and I'm trying to think. I hadn't gotten married yet. I was about to get married, and I joined First Church, and I got baptized again. I think I was 32
Okay.
when I got baptized again.
Yeah. Yeah.
When when I said, okay, I had one foot here and one foot over there.
Yes.
I said, okay, Lord.
Mm-hmm.
I was afraid because I said, oh, being a religious person is going to be dull.
Mm.
But I learned that
Yeah,
wasn't
not
true.
the truth at all.
It's exciting serving
Mm-hmm.
the Lord. It really
Mm-hmm.
is. Yes.
Mm-hmm. And
So,
when you finally get to that place, it's like, I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah.
This is what I'm going to do.
right.
Cool.
And that's what
Cool
happened.
beans. Okay. So, what do you remember what you wanted to be when you grew up, and then what did you?
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Look, I had an aunt that passed. She was 34. My aunt, this is what my brother was telling me about because I didn't know her.
Mhm.
She was a singer and dancer. She lived in Paris for 4 years.
Wow.
I always wanted, I liked that theater type,
Yes.
you know, because
Okay.
when I was in school, I was in every club except for science club. Okay, I didn't want to study that hard, but I was in every club there was.
Mm-hmm.
So I enjoyed dancing. I played in the band. I played in the jazz combo,
Yeah.
the concert.
Wow.
I played in the marching band.
Mm-hmm.
I played a trombone,
Oh
and
my goodness.
there was some little poor self-esteem I had because had I not had that, I would have continued on with my
Yeah.
trombone player. I said, who uh, want to see a female playing the trombone,
Mm.
you know?
Yeah.
But anyway.
Isn't that
so,
something? The things that we somehow pick up and tell ourselves
Yes.
and keeps us, first the enemy,
Yeah.
it keeps us from being all that we can be
That is so true.
until you get set free.
Yes.
So you can still play the trombone if
I
you
still
want to.
can, yeah.
Yes, you can.
But I have a saxophone now that I'm trying to learn
do
how to
you
play.
really?
Yes, I
See,
do.
That's all right.
Yes, I do.
That's fantastic. That's
Yeah.
good. Okay, so you wanted to be an entertainer,
Yes. Yes.
and you thought I can do this.
Yes,
You've
yes,
got the
all
style.
the way.
You
Yeah.
definitely have the pizzazz for sure. Okay, so what kind of work did you end up? Did you end up going to college or did you?
I did.
Okay, where'd you go?
When I was in Champaign, I went to Parkland Junior College there,
Mhm.
and I thought I wanted to be a dentist hygienist.
Okay.
You know, but then I took sick, so I ended up, like I said, moving to. My sister moved me here to Toledo. When I went to the University of Toledo,
Mhm.
I wanted to be. I studied environmental public health.
Okay.
I wanted to be an inspector for the city. I didn't get that job because I was told that I needed to have some engineering
Okay.
background, and
Mm.
I felt that I really didn't
Okay.
needed that. So that was a little. I felt discrimination.
Okay.
But anyway, with that, I did graphic art. I went to took up a trade of
Okay.
graphic art.
Mhm.
So that's how I got into Orange Coin. And this there was some kind of convention that was going on,
Mhm.
and during my time at this graphic arts training, there was a man named Mike Mackin. I can remember his name very well because he said, I've been observing you, and he said, I would like for you to work on one of these machines during this convention downtown Toledo.
Mm.
That's how I got into Orange Corning.
Mm.
Yeah, so I worked there for a number
Doing
of years.
what?
I
Exactly.
was over the printing department.
Okay.
They had two separate ones. They had a bigger operation, and I was in the corporation right in-house there
Okay.
where departments that needed work reduplicated. I would run this 9900 machine. It was a dual machine.
Okay.
At the time, you know, you had your metal plates that you had to use before they went to the paper style.
And I bet there
So-
weren't many women doing this kind of work, I would imagine.
No, it wasn't, but I
Interesting.
loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Okay.
And I even worked downtown at the public library for a year. And that was during the time when we had the old library cards. You know, they would stamp when you checked
Yes.
out a book, they would stamp it.
Yes.
And I would print off those little, for the lines to be
Mhm.
synchronized for you to
Okay.
have stamped. And all the flyers of the advertisement did that,
Yeah.
you know, down there. But after that, I worked for Xerox, and I was an administrative. And it's a funny thing about that, and I do need to share this. And with that, it's because I didn't go to school to be a secretary. I never thought about that.
Mm-hmm.
I was making some copies at the copy machine, and it was this German man, Mike Mackin. No, Mike Gaudian is his name. He lives in Monroe. And he said, I've been observing you. He said, I would like for you to be my administrative secretary.
Wow.
He said, I think I can trust you, and I need somebody trustworthy to work next to me. He said, because I have a lot of important responsibilities, and I believe that you'll work out fine.
You know, what I hear as you're telling me these stories is that the Lord's hand has been on your life
Yes.
all along, and He's directed your life. You know,
Yes.
people have been observing you
Yeah.
and putting you in a place maybe when someone else had earned it, but you
Yes.
came in and got it just
Yes.
because somebody's been observing
Yes.
you. And that's
Yeah.
evidence of the Lord's hand on a person's life.
There were times that I cried. I mean, I was rejected from a number of jobs, and I even asked when I was told that I didn't get the job. And I said, well, what did I do wrong? Because I don't want to make the same mistake when I
Yeah.
go for an interview for another job. And I would never get an answer. So I did cry a lot,
Sure.
you know,
Sure.
but I didn't give up, and God didn't give up on me,
Yeah.
you know. So
What has the Lord taught you as you've grown in Him, and you're still, as we continue to grow until we die, we'll be growing in Him. What are some of the important things that the Lord has taught you, just about life, about who you are, from where you came from who you were to who you are?
the Lord has taught me in the times that I've cried and felt rejected and didn't have such a high self-esteem of myself. There were people that God placed in my life and to say, you can do that. You're just as good as the next person. Don't give up. Keep trying. And don't hold on to grudges when someone disappoints you. Put that aside. There was times that I was angry and disappointed and wanted to just be mean.
Yeah, sure.
And I found out that hurts to act like that, to hold on
It does.
to such an unpleasant feeling, you know. So God has taught me and still teach me to love, because I used to spend my whole check on myself. I did. And I said, why should I have to set some money aside and save it? But I've learned, yes, you never know when you may want to need to give someone some money for something. Like one time I was in a store, there was a man, his card wouldn't go through. I had this $50 that was folded up behind my driver's license, and something kept saying, Latricia,
Let it
you
go.
got some money. And I did. I gave up. So the Lord is teaching me
That's
to
something.
trust Him.
Yeah.
It's not your money. You know, I gave to you, and I will continue to give to you, but you must learn how to give and release and let go.
And you are, to me, you're such a giver. You have blessed me so many times, just in different ways, bringing me flowers. Just for you've just been a blessing, and I know you do it with a bunch of other people as well. So you have definitely become a giver, for sure. So you came to First Church, and so you've been there. You've seen us go through some.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah.
what's kept you here as we've gone through this in the last year? This unrest. What's kept you here
Here at First Church.
at First Church?
You know, I used to go to Mount Pilgrim. I sang in the choir there, and I was pretty active as a member. When I left that church and came to First Church to be a member, I said, I'm not going to be a church hopper, because there's going to always be some things that I may not agree upon. And Bishop, well, he was pastor at first, then he became bishop. I remember very well at the time, I think we called him pastor. He says, though I stand before you and bring the word, he said, just don't listen to what I have to say only. He said, read the word for yourself. So I took that to heart, and to know that believing in God, trusting in His word will carry me through. Yes, I respect Bishop Cup, always have and always will. But every time he would say something, I really try to listen to it and digest it and feed up on it.
Okay.
So that's what have kept me there. To trust God, to not give up, don't give up, because there are going to be some difficulties wherever you
Absolutely.
go. So I just said, okay, I'll stay here and we'll work through it together.
All right. That's what we're doing, huh?
Yes.
All right, well, we're going to take a little break, and
All right.
we'll be back in a moment. We're going to talk to Lutricia Gray some more just to learn a few of her favorite things in life. Stay with us, please. Till just today, in fact, that you are a widow. I did not know that. So tell me when you got married and how you went about finding this man.
Well, the thing was, I said, Lord, when I'm going to ever get married? I had some friends to get married right after high school. I didn't want to do that. I said, no, I can't go from my mother's house to being a wife. I don't know anything. I just can't do that. Anyway, over the course of time, and Pastor Cup talks many times about Danville, Illinois, and being that I was living in Champaign, I had cousins, 3, that lived in Danville. They would come over every weekend with their wives and checking on me. And they would tell me, don't worry, you're going to get a husband. So after just listening to them, I said, I'm just going to pray for a husband. I told the Lord what type of husband I wanted. I said, he doesn't have to be a good-looking man. Really, I did, okay? I said that as long as he loved the Lord, treat me right, and an intelligent man. I didn't want no man that wasn't going to pursue to learn something each day to grow. And believe it or not, there was a friend that out at the university, one day was on, I guess between classes, and we was talking and just having a casual conversation, and he asked me had I really met somebody yet. I said, oh, I'm dating here and there and all. He said, I'm going to introduce you to somebody.
All right.
And he introduced me to my husband. And the funny thing is, my husband was thinking about marrying another lady.
Wow.
And after I had met him and we were talking, we were just friends, and he was telling me about this lady that he was going to marry. And I said, I don't think she's the right person for you. Not to say that I was the
Right,
right
right.
person, but I did tell him that.
Yeah.
And he said, well, why do you say that? I said, because of your position. I said, you need a woman that, listen at me. I said, you need a woman that will respect you, a lady that, a woman that will understand you. You need a woman that would look out for your best interests.
Yeah.
And I just went on and on about all these positive things, the type of woman he needed to marry. And anyway, my nephew used to tell me that I was his Sunday girl because he would come by and visit, always wanted to take me for dinner. And it was my mother that told me, she said that this is the man for
Wow.
you. And anyway, I did end up marrying my
Yeah.
husband. He was originally from Sandusky, Ohio, but he lived here in Toledo. You know, he worked here. So we ended up getting married. He was an only child. So we had two girls. And he insists that we have two girls because he said being an only child is lonely. And
Yeah.
he did
Interesting.
not want
Had to have just a
that
single
one.
child.
Yeah, so we
Okay.
had two girls.
I didn't know
and he
that.
said, this way you can carry one and I can carry the other, you know. So
Okay.
that worked out until his death. And I can remember our girls was already out of school, high school and in college and all. And he was saying that we have no issues. It's just you and me, you know. And he had all these expectations about, he really wanted to live in Ann Arbor. We used to go to Michigan all the time. And then he wanted to go back to Sandusky.
Okay.
Because his goal was to be the mayor of
Oh, my
Sandusky, you know.
goodness.
So anyway, that did not happen. But my husband was raised Catholic. Here we go, Catholic. And so my husband didn't come to church with me, okay? But every Sunday, he would always say, let me see what you look like before you leave out of here. Let me see if you're representing me. And then when I got home, he said, okay, well, what's the sermon about? And I would have to tell him, so I had to pay attention, you know. And he had his own sets of books, you know, that he bought
Sure.
and read. And so with that, we shared the Lord together, you know, in different ways and all, yeah.
And so he died, you said about 21 years
Yeah,
ago.
my husband's been gone 21 years.
Okay.
Yeah. So as a matter of fact, I tried to do CPR on my husband, but I really wish I could remember the guy that he was a paramedic that came there with the firemen, and he said, we're going to do all we can to save them. And they did, you know, but my husband had a heart attack. And but anyway, I said, okay, Lord, what am I supposed to do?
Sure.
Because being married was like independent but dependent. That's the way my husband ran his household, you know, independent wife, you know. But
What's a message you can give to other women who may have just gone through it? You've been through it 21 years now.
it's something you'll never forget. We were friends first before we became man and wife. And what I would like to say, and I did have a chance to say this to someone who was going through sickness with their husband, in and out of the husband. I said, love your husband. I said, remember, just as much as God loves you, he loves your husband just as well. When you get into an argument, you know, one time what we did was we wrote down all the likes, well, mainly the dislikes that we didn't like about a person, because there was a little difficulty. And he said, you go first. I said, no, you go first, to read off what you thought a dislike about me.
Yeah.
And after my husband read off things that he disliked me, I was too embarrassed and ashamed about the things because I was really being petty.
Okay.
So
Gotcha.
we saw that, you know, he said, I don't want to raise these kids by myself. I said, I don't want to raise them by myself either. So we learned to forgive and forget.
Yeah.
And that money situation, I tell you, It works. You got to, one may be a little bit more overspended than the other,
Want to savor.
but learn to sit back and observe and work together because we're all going to have differences time to time, but don't go to bed with the
Angry.
grudge
Yeah.
towards your husband.
That's what the
because
Lord says.
remember, God loves your husband just as much as he loves
Yeah,
you.
it's
Yeah.
true. I'm going to change you a little bit.
Okay.
You're the head of the greeters. What's so important about being a greeter, or what's so important about that ministry, in your words, in a quick way? What do you think?
Only thing, I always have to go back to Jerome because Jerome pointed, he said, you're supposed to be a greeter. I said, well, God didn't tell me, you know. And with that, I've learned that to set the tone, to make people feel a part, because people can make you feel so like you're not even supposed to be there. But you are supposed to be there, and just give love. It's so easy to give a smile.
It is.
Like my mother said, speak. It doesn't cost you a thing. Just open your mouth and say, good morning, how are you? You look very lovely. And to give that smile.
And it's important for people coming into our church, even
Yes.
those who are members, and
Yes.
especially those who are not members, who
Absolutely.
don't. They're coming in. We're their first interaction.
Did they see?
And they get our interaction, a greeter's interaction, can determine whether or not they ever come back again.
That is true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it is definitely an important,
Okay.
and like I said, you do a great job at being the leader, and you really help us to remember to maintain that smile and to be friendly. So I appreciate that. All right, we're going to get now into some things that. What's your favorite food? You said you grew up eating crawfish. What's your your absolute favorite food, or if this is going to be your last meal or the meal that you get that had everything that you wanted? What would it be, or what favorite restaurant would that be?
To tell you the truth, Jerry, I do not know because my husband, I wasn't a good cook. Okay?
Okay.
I really wasn't. We ate out more than I cooked,
Really?
because I wasn't a good cook.
Okay.
So, with that, I've had a variety of food. And to say what my last meal, I'm not even sure anymore.
Really?
You know, at one time I thought it was the lobster,
Seafood.
the salmon, seafood, period.
Is it
I'm
soul
sick of
food
eating
or-
that.
Oh, no.
I am.
Huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
I am. But I do cook. I do
Okay.
cook.
Okay.
And my kids would tell you that. But anyway, I do cook. I do make an attempt. Yeah.
Okay.
So I really don't.
All right.
I guess it would have to be vegetables now. I can
Really?
take a nice veggie.
A stir
like
fry
some,
or a salad?
well, I could have, what is it, cauliflower, baked, steamed.
Okay.
Your carrots, I like the, what is it, the pea pots. I like
Okay.
these because it's so sweet and tasty.
Okay.
Yes.
All
So
right.
vegetables
All
would
right.
be the thing for me.
Okay. Cake or pie?
Okay. Caramel
Yeah.
cake.
Caramel cake.
Caramel cake.
Okay. All
Definitely.
right. All right. A movie that you have to watch. If you see it's coming on, it's going to come on. It's something that you've watched over and over again, but every time you see it's like I got to watch the whole thing again. Is there a movie like that?
Not anymore.
No.
It used to be. I guess I'm more into now is gardening.
Okay.
I like to watch that. I do.
Okay.
I like that.
Well, that was
Yeah.
going to be one of my next questions. Is
Okay.
to ask what is your favorite downtime activity? What's when you just don't want to do any kind of, you just want to just chill. What is that you would do that relaxes you like that? And is it gardening, or no?
Gardening and sometimes sewing. I have 3 sewing machines.
Okay.
And
Do you
I
make your
tell
own
you,
clothes?
I'm just about to tell
Oh,
you about
okay.
that. As I told you, I love to dance.
Yes.
And every time that the weekend came along that I was getting ready to go out, I always had to make something new and different.
Wow.
There was many times I'd be in the car, I'd be putting a hem
Oh
in my garment because
goodness.
I did not want to wear the same outfit. So,
Oh my stars.
sewing, yes.
Okay, that's your. And you make your own outfit every time.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing.
Mhm.
Okay. What what's something that you think people assume about you that just isn't true at all?
Um, One thing my husband used to say that he always said that I thought that not that I was more than what I am,
Mm.
that I guess I thought I knew more than I really did know. And I felt it.
Okay.
Some things I just did,
Okay.
So,
Okay.
but I don't try to project that. I try to project a positive image simply because this band instructor I had, Mrs. Snow, in playing music, he said, you must learn how to play a variety of music to be able to reach out. I always wanted a variety of friends, and I have been blessed to have
Good.
a variety of friends too. And I never like to go the same way all the time. My husband would get aggravated with me. Why are you wasting gas going all the way around when we can go straight? You know, because he always pointed that out. He was money conscious, but wasn't stingy. He was a very good man about providing for his family. So
Okay.
I try to keep things balanced in my spiritual.
And just
Right.
as we wrap up, what's one thing that when you leave this earth and go on to be with the Lord, what do you want people to remember about you? What's one thing you want them to be sure to remember about you?
That I try to do my best. I try to share encouraging words to someone come across my path, not to make anyone feel less than what they are, because I've been in a situation where people just didn't want to serve you, didn't want to wait on you, act like you didn't have any money to make a purchase of something, just being totally disrespectful. So I would want people to know that I try to encourage you to make you feel special. And I think that's important to encourage someone.
All right, from what I see, you do that. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here. Really
You're more than
appreciate it.
welcome.
And thank you so much for watching. And we look forward to seeing you the next time on Up Close and Personal. Have a good day.